One of the easiest ways to reduce your income tax is to live or relocate to a state where there is no tax on your income. When you are coming from a state like California, where there's an additional 13% tax on your capital gains, and other states which have really high state taxes, you don't have to live in those states. This is a mobile society, and a lot of people work online, and specifically where you live is not necessarily something that's mandatory for them. It's not an easy thing to just pack up and move to another state. You have friends and family where you are, you've sunken down some roots, but maybe you're at a point in life where you're looking at relocating, that maybe your family and friends are in other states, and maybe it's time to think about moving closer to them and maybe moving to a tax-friendly state. You'd be really surprised how wonderful it is to do your taxes and not even have to file a state tax return or be hassled with all that. These states still bring in revenues from its citizens, to be clear. They're still taxing other aspects, those property taxes, their sales taxes. And there may be other fees when you get services from the government. So you really need to look at the whole picture. But I think you'll find that certain states, like California, have decided to spend, and have really high debts and to tax their people accordingly. And it doesn't have to be that way. When you think how much money you pay in property tax, for example, what if you lived in a state where they didn't tax that property so high? Think how much money you have to earn each year just to pay for the privilege of owning your property. You might be a renter and don't realize that property tax is part of the reason that your rent is so high. So it's a great time to, be the consumer and choose what state you're living in. Just because you're born there doesn't mean you have to stay there. Certain states with high property taxes are really prohibitive to live in when you are retiring and are on a fixed income. You just can't live in a state where you're paying high property taxes. So something to think about.